Thank you all for coming today. First, before I start, let me express my deepest condolences to the friends and family of little Haley Dunbar Blanchette. This is a horrible tragedy in which we all hoped for a better outcome. Our thoughts are with the family, the community of Blairmore, and members of the RCMP. I'm here today to speak to you about the recent gun violence within our city. Since the beginning of the year, 10 people have lost their lives due to gun violence. And we have more than 70 incidents where bullets have struck property or people, causing concern within our communities. All levels of violence within our city, regardless of the motivation, is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. We've been here before, and we've learned from it. We are not going to relent ever. Let me assure you that our commitment to combat organized crime and gang violence has never wavered. This year alone, our Guns and Gangs unit and drug unit have worked on 88 files, on 233 offenders, seized 22 guns, and laid nearly 600 charges. These numbers do not include the constant effort from frontline patrol officers and other areas of the service to keep our community safe. Ultimately, the buck stops with me, but the service needs your help. We need information from the community to assist us with our investigations and to confirm motivations. Organized crime groups remain active in our city, and we do not minimize and have not minimized this fact. They are motivated by money, drugs, vendetta, and access to illegal weapons. Violent incidents that put the public at risk will not be tolerated in our city. To those who commit these acts of violence, rest assured, we will not stop until we find you and hold you accountable to the fullest extent of the law. It may not happen tomorrow, it may not happen this year, but our service will not stop in our quest to bring justice to those who have put the public in harm's way. Members of this service remain relentless in their collective and coordinated efforts to keep our city safe. As a service, on a daily basis, we investigate, suppress, and take direct enforcement action to support public safety. This commitment has not and will not change. Our service is fully committed to reducing the violence within our community. I cannot stress enough the commitment the members of this service make in support of this effort. I'm talking about everyone within the service, from the front line to our civilian members to our specialized and investigative units. We are all working relentlessly towards stopping this violence. To our citizens, be vigilant, be diligent, and report any suspicious activity you may see. What may seem like an odd occurrence could be the key we need to solve a major crime. We will stand together and show this kind of activity will not be tolerated within our city. My commitment to this community will remain focused on public and officer safety. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. I will now answer your questions. However, specific stats or incidents-related questions may be handled by a subject matter expert at a later date.
Can you just repeat those three numbers that you gave us then? You said 600 odd charges, number of guns seized, and number of calls responded
I will.
to.
So this year alone, our Gangs and Guns and drug units have worked on 88 files, on 233 offenders, seizing 22 guns, and laying nearly 600 charges. Again, these numbers do not include the constant effort from frontline patrol officers and other areas of the service to keep this community safe.
233 calls, is that what you said?
233 offenders.
So Paul, is there an immediate response from the CPS with the spike in terms of how you're going to do certain things? Obviously there's been a spike. Are there immediate things or immediate alterations that you can do now to try to combat it? Is it increased patrols in problematic areas, things of that nature? Are there immediate things that are being done?
As I said earlier, unfortunately, we have experience with this, and we have experienced investigators, and we have experienced frontline members. I think we're better prepared now than we've ever been prepared. We have the real-time operations center that is active 24/7, every week, every day of the week, to coordinate our response to this violence. We have guns and gangs teams. We have gang suppression team. Our homicide unit are some of the most experienced investigators that we have. Our response to this violence has not changed. Have we seen a spike, an increase in violence in this community? We have, and unfortunately we've seen the same in other crimes. But I can tell you our pursuit of these offenders will not change. Whether you commit a violent sexual assault in our city and it takes us 20 years to bring you to justice, we will.
Is there anything about our city that's changed, that's caused this spike in violence?
I think we all know as Albertans, our whole province has changed. The economy has changed this year. Last year, we weren't talking about fentanyl, and we weren't talking with our Alberta Health Services partner around the crisis that fentanyl has brought to this community. We're losing young people to fentanyl. We're losing young people to drugs. So have things changed? Yes, they have. The economy has changed. What has not changed, though, is our commitment to public safety to this community.
Can you speak at all to many of these gun-related offenses or deaths that have occurred have been targeted? Can you speak at all to whether or not this is gang-related violence? And if not, how do you recommend Calgarians feel safe in those communities where these things have taken place and they're targeted, but there's no answers as to why?
What I would say to that is, regardless of the violence, we take it extremely seriously. Regardless of the motivation, we take it serious. What we need, though, that's the information that our investigators are asking for every day. We need to determine motivation. But I can tell you that organized crime and drugs are a high-risk lifestyle. And there's usually two outcomes, death or jail. So to the rest of the community, what I'm saying is we need information to further these investigations to determine the motivation. But so far, they're targeted. Our fear has always been that somebody innocent comes into harm's way, and that is absolutely unacceptable for the city of Calgary.
Can you be as specific as you can about what you would like the public to do to help you with this?
I think that's the whole premise around community-based policing. We need the eyes and ears of the community. We need the families of people who are involved in this high-risk lifestyle to know that they're at risk. We need neighbors to be vigilant and watch out for one another. And like I said earlier, it's the littlest piece of information that may further a homicide or a major crime within this community. We've seen the strength and partnership of this community over and over and over again. We're asking the community for that ongoing support. Information is what I'm asking you for.
So just to go back to what I was asking you about before, can you confirm whether or not this is an increase in gang-related violence? Are we seeing organized crime, like you're saying, this high-risk lifestyle, leading to these gun-related violent incidents?
Sorry, ask me that one more time.
Is it organized crime, gangs, leading to these gun-related incidents?
Okay. What I would say to that is, right now, regardless of the group or the motivation, some of the crimes, some of the shooting that we've seen this year, make no mistake about it, it's about drugs. It's about drug lines, it's about illegal interests, and groups of people coming together to further that. With that lifestyle comes the violence, and some of the violence that we're seeing within our community, but it is all not motivated by gangs and organized crime. That's about as far as most specific as I can get in relation to that.
So just to be clear, you're saying, yes, some of it is drug and organized crime related, but on the other hand, some of it is not.
I'll be clear, make no mistake, the vast majority of this is related to organized crime and drugs specifically.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you all.
Just really quickly, on the Blanchette case, I'm just curious, Paul, if there's anything that CPS has been, providing any type of assistance with that investigation, either through specialists or anything like that, or are you leaving it purely to you?
It's an RCMP file, and any support that we could offer to the RCMP, we have a strong working relationship with our RCMP partners. Thank you all.
So Staff Sergeant Quinn Jakes will be available right now for those that want to speak.
Good afternoon. It's Quinn Jakes, Quinn, JAC, QUES. I'm a staff sergeant in charge of the Guns and Gangs Unit and the Gang Enforcement Team. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have. And if I can't, I have some capable people with me that will try and get you an answer in short order. Are there any questions arising from Chief Cook's words?
Just touched on previously about the changes that we've seen in our city in terms of the economy, fentanyl. I'm wondering if you can talk about that a little more specifically and expand on it.
So, as the chief aptly put it, there's the influences of an economy that's changed, the presence of fentanyl, and overlaying that is attitudes towards firearms. I've reported on this before, but disputes that used to be settled with knuckles and clubs are now escalating right to firearms. So that's one of the sort of overarching themes that we're dealing with here as well.
Can you speak at all to the Arbor Lake incident at all? Have you guys made any headway with the 3 assailants that you're looking for?
No, I'm sorry, I can't speak to that one. It's a homicide investigation, sorry.
Quinn,
else?
obviously,
Sorry.
Paul just mentioned that a vast majority of this, make no mistake, is drug and gang related. That being said, can you kind of describe what investigators in the Guns and Gangs Unit can do to kind of, it's kind of difficult to explain, I think, but to kind of prevent incidents from happening in terms of, kind of getting information? Maybe this is about tips from the public, but what can the unit do in terms of trying to gather information about certain groups or certain criminals and to try to prevent it to getting to that point of violence? What's maybe the challenge there, and how can the community help, and how can the unit work towards trying to make that as efficient as possible, if that makes sense, that question?
I think I'm with you. So I think the key to our success is our relationship with the community, and the more information we can get from the community assists us in ensuring public safety. I'm convinced that there's people in our community that know who are carrying firearms. They know who's dealing drugs, whether you're working in the entertainment industry or you're browsing social media and these people are posting pictures of guns. We need to know about that. So I would urge all Calgarians who are seeing these images on the internet, are seeing people behaving as though they're carrying firearms, to contact us, contact Crime Stoppers, or visit our GRIP website.
We were just staying on the subject of tips from the public, and I know Chief just mentioned family related to maybe those responsible, who may know. Are you getting cooperation from family members, from friends, in the inner circle, like not just strangers in the public, but like?
I can say that we have all members of the community assisting us. I just want to ensure that there's no hesitation, that their information, if they want it to be treated confidential, will. So I want to just make sure that opportunity, that door is open for the community to cooperate with us and provide us with information.
Is there some hesitation right now, or are you guys in a way kind of, I guess, hitting a wall as far as getting that information?
Yeah, I don't have any examples of that, but I just want to allay that concern at the outset.
Are there any new players you've seen come into the organized crime groups over the last year, 2 years? Concern?
No, it's typically all people that have been known to us throughout the past few years. So no, if you're talking about any sort of regional trends or any sort of emigration, no, I'm not seeing that trend at this time.
What's the best way for the public to get in touch with you for tips?
For tips, if they want to remain anonymous, the Crime Stoppers 1-800 number, or they can visit our GRIP website, and they can make online submissions there.
Is
Okay.
the Guns and Gangs Unit working at all with this new redirect program to bring in potential risks that you see in the youth of this community?
Since it's a new program, we haven't really refined our relationship with them, and it is run out of a separate area, but I'm sure as we move forward, we'll be looking at all other areas, any partner agency we can have to ensure success.